So AI has been the big thing on this channel recently, and we've run experiments spanning AI merch robots, travel apps, an AI consulting business, and plenty more. What I have not done to date is catalog some of the core tools that have been most helpful and valuable while creating all of those AI-driven products and services. So in this video, I will cover 5 of the most essential AI tools for you if you are either running a business currently or looking to run a business. And each of those tools will cover one core aspect of the entrepreneurial process: ideation and feedback, product and service creation, sales, service or product fulfillment, and finally admin, or the management side of running and growing a business. Number 1 is the ideation phase. So that's when you're looking to get an idea about a business or a product you could start, or more likely you already have that idea and you're looking to improve it and get it to a point where you can go raise funding, get team members, or really just go to market. Now, AI is really useful here, not necessarily in generating creative ideas or concepts, but in doing everything else. So giving you the information, context, or ideas to improve your ideas rapidly. And also just identify easy areas for improvement or identify errors, because often these ideas are in a space that you don't have exposure to prior, or if you're looking to, say, start a business based off something specific that you're interested in, there are likely many other sides, many other parts of creating that business that you don't have to be creative in or get creative feedback on. You just need the AI assistance in what's the norm here, what do people normally do, and what am I doing that's really, really wrong, or how could I improve what I currently have? Now, to this end, I want to highlight one kind of tool that's actually pretty similar across 2 different chatbots or AI models out there, and those are Deep Research by Gemini and ChatGPT. And both of these tools are AI chatbots, which are different from the other ones we'll discuss shortly in this video. And what they do is just do a very deep dive into whatever subject or question you have. You really have to see it just to see what they actually do. So let's go dive into a quick demo and cover some common use cases. Okay, so I've pulled up both Gemini and ChatGPT here, and what I'm going to do is switch to the Deep Research models. So in Gemini, that's 1.5 Pro with Deep Research, and in ChatGPT, we're going to go to O3 Mini High, and then we can just press Deep Research to enable that feature. And then we need a prompt. So just as a demo here, let's say we're I'm researching the construction software space. I want to start a business in this space, so help me build a full competitor landscape with information about all competitors, large and small, public and startups. So super basic prompt there, quite general. And we'll do the same here in Gemini. So what these are going to do are scour the internet and build a very deep, thorough kind of report about these subjects. So I'll click Start Research for Gemini, and same thing here. They're going to ask a few questions. I'll just say all segments, all regions, give me all info, but organize it well with reports, graphs, etc. And focus, yes, on startups. So then you can see here for Deep Research with Gemini, it's researching 12 websites right now, and that number will go up over time. And GPT is about to do the same. So it'll start research and it'll scour all these different websites. So I'm gonna let these run for a few minutes. This takes anywhere from 3 to 15 minutes, and then we'll come back when it's done. And already here it's been another 15 seconds since I last spoke, and it's researching 350 websites. So you can get an idea of just the depth of this research. Now we can see something similar with ChatGPT, where it has a whole report and then summarizes that right here. So those are the Deep Research tools. I'd say just give them a go if you haven't tried them yet, and see how they work for you. Now, another key aspect of starting a business is its website, the digital home for your idea where you can sell products, tell your story, rank on search engines, and plenty more. If you are starting a business this year, look no further than .online for your domain extension. The word online is part of keywords searched over 500 million times every month all around the world. And that is why .online is a perfect fit for all types of businesses, whether a kombucha brand like Radiate in Miami or a global pop star. And this is really important. While it's often hard to find the perfect .com domain extension because it's so saturated and it's been around forever, there are plenty of .online names available that can perfectly match your business or idea. Just head over to get.online or the link in the description to claim that discount and get started. Now, category number 2 is building or creating your actual product or service. Now, this one really is use case dependent, because if you're building a drone company versus a real estate company versus a YouTube channel, the AI tools that could most help you are going to look radically different across those verticals. So for sake of brevity, I'll give you one tool, but kind of two, that fits into the type of products and services that we create for videos on this channel. So they're focused on programming and around digital products and services, or digital parts of otherwise physical businesses like a website or automation. Now, if you do anything digital nowadays, I think you're going to be better off in a lot of small ways and also some really big ones if you can code. But just in the last few years, actually, you don't have to. You can use tools like I want to go over right now. Now, the main tool that I want to mention is Replit, and the second-ish is Claude, because Claude is a chatbot, which is really, really good at coding, but it's not as complete as far as the whole stack of creating and deploying applications goes. So we'll look at that in a second as well, but the main focus for this category is Replit. Replit is basically an entire integrated code environment. So you can converse with the app that you're building, you can get it built for you, and you can deploy it so you can actually push it from code to the web so that anyone can search for it and use it very easily. So with that said, let's jump into another demo. I want to do a little demo of Replit, but to do that, I want to just use AI for the full stack, since that is what this video is about. So I'm going to go to ChatGPT and ask, what is a Replit app or business we could start? So let's see what GPT says, and then let's just choose one of those. So let's just go for number 1 here, so an online code learning platform. And then what I'll do is I'll grab not just the title, but the whole little description here, and then I'll go to replit.com. So this is the account or the homepage, and you start just by describing what you want to build. So I'll just paste that in there and I'll click Start Building. And then what's really useful about Replit is that you can actually edit the underlying code as you proceed. It is a code environment in that sense. You can also deploy directly from Replit. So you can connect your domain in Replit, and then just like, say, GitHub pages, you can deploy straight through there. So what Replit is doing now is it's going to generate a plan for this app, as opposed to just starting right away. And then once I approve the plan, it'll go and actually build that. And from there on out, there's the plan. So it'll build the initial prototype, and then we'll say we want a database, we want Stripe, we want code execution environment, and real-time mentorship features. So we'll approve that plan. And then this is the actual editor, so we can edit the code over here on the left. There's a lot more that you can do. But now this thing is going to go and just build the app for us, and then we can converse as we want to further develop the features and the capabilities. So I can say, after it finishes this, well, let's make the homepage more intuitive, right? Let's add animations, whatever you want, this thing will build. That said, it does get stuck if you're talking about really advanced features, and you do always want to know what you're building. But as far as just validating concepts, MVPs, and learning about all of this goes, it's a really amazing tool in that sense. And you can see just how much work it's doing for us here. And I'll let it run for just the rest of this prompt, and then we'll see the demo it builds. Okay, so it's been running for a few minutes now, and we can see what it's built. And you can see there's courses, profile, there's going to be a login or registration feature in here, and then this is actually a full-on application. So we can click Start Learning, and in this case there's an error because it hasn't actually built that out. But if we paste that in and say, actually build the course pages, then it'll go and start doing that. So you can see how quickly it starts working on these things, and that's what makes it such a powerful tool for full stack development. So we'll let it finish out this prompt, and then we'll wrap the demo up there. Okay, so there we go. So now we can click on Start Learning, and it actually built the page. So you just keep prompting it like that, and that's how you can get an app built. And with that said, let's get back to the video. Okay, now category number 3 is sales, and AI is affecting every part of the sales process, just across the board, really, whether that's generating leads all the way through follow-ups. And there's even really cool startups that can automate your entire CRM kind of data entry and updates, which if you've worked in sales, you know is a major pain point. Now, these videos all have one thing in common. I used or mentioned one specific platform which is useful for sales and outbound, specifically cold email, and incorporates a lot of AI features that make it a lot better, in my opinion, versus competitors. That is instantly.ai, so let's jump in and I'll show you around. Okay, so one of the great core features of Instantly and the AI part of it starts with this, right? Start your search with AI in the associated lead finder, and this is where we can find leads that'll plug into our campaigns. And then what Instantly really does well is emails. So we can create campaigns in this tab, and this is an account that I'm using for another video and we're starting a real business out of. So you can create campaigns, and then there's all kinds of features in here that relate to AI. For example, if we go to options, we can get auto-optimized AZ testing, and we can get AI to actually write the emails as well. There's also a lot of other great features that involve AI in various ways. They're all very useful. If you want to learn more about this, you can go watch some of the other videos I've done where I do kind of a deep dive into outbound email specifically. But for now, that's a rundown of Instantly. And as far as using it, there's really one core feature that I want to emphasize here, and that relates to email accounts. So if we go to add new, something you can do is done for you email setup or pre-warmed accounts. And normally it takes 2 weeks to get your emails warmed. And if you just want to test or validate an idea, then you can just go over to pre-warmed accounts right here. You can purchase 1 or 2 of those, get some emails going, set up the forwarding domain to go to your actual business domain, and then place that order and get started ASAP within an hour or 2. So that is something as well that I'd recommend and is very useful. Okay, now we're on to number 4, which is service or product fulfillment. So this is actually either delivering a physical product or completing the service that you sell. By this, I mean the work that is involved in accomplishing the deliverables that you promised to customers when you sold them a product or service, whether that's manufacturing and shipping the product to send it to them, or whether it's completing a service, say over the course of a month, 6 months, or a year plus that you sold them. The tool in this category is an incredibly useful one for automating a lot of busy work, and while it often incorporates AI, it does not necessarily have to. That tool is make.com, and it's like Zapier if you're familiar with that platform, but a lot more AI heavy. And in sum, it lets you build automations and sequences that would otherwise be things that you would do manually. People build all kinds of cool things on here that you can see in their little community library. And that said, let's jump into 3 specific demos. This is inside make.com, and this honestly is probably my favorite tool of this whole video. And that's because what this basically does is lets you visually create a lot of what people used to program just to make their life and their business easier. And even when you think about so many and so much of the value in the whole just software industrial space, like all the softwares that have created trillions in value over the past few decades, at their core, they just do a lot of things like this, right? Like AI web scraping with Google Sheets, creating Notion database items for Google form responses, like just those little things. And now you can do them with Make and with AI. So I pulled out 3 specific demos here, or examples. One is where you have, and if you're familiar with Zapier, you know all about this, but basically you connect these to the various services that you want to automate. and then you have some kind of trigger or something that initiates these workflows or sequences to start. So in this case, every single time an email comes in, then it's going to send that to ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT is going to summarize it, and then it's going to send it to a Slack message of your choice. And that's just, say, if you want to get updates in Slack about important emails, and ChatGPT, because it's intelligent, can decide what information to give you and when, or you can prompt it in a certain way or whatnot. This is similar. This is creating Google Calendar events from Notion. So if you update something, and let's say a sales rep updates something in Notion, then something will happen in Google Calendar. And you can also set up a filter here so that only when XYZ happens in Notion, then does a calendar event get created. And then this final one is when a Google Sheets row is updated, then an email is triggered. So that could also be some kind of sales process where when a lead is added to a sheet, then you want an email to be sent to them. Really, if I were you and you haven't seen anything like this before, I would just create an account and go to templates and start scrolling through here, because there are such interesting ones. And I'm sure if you have a business, many of these will be applicable to you. And if not, it's just really fun to think about how you can use these. So that's Make. It's also good to watch a tutorial video on how exactly to make this all work, but it's all really simple once you get just the kind of UI, and that is make.com. Now finally, category and product number 5 relates to the admin and management side of running the business, so everything behind the scenes. And for this one, I have a really cool tool called Lena, and specifically their autonomous agent. I first saw their website a few months ago, and I saw this demo and was immediately like, that is epic, and they have some pretty big name customers as well. It turns out that it really is useful in a lot of ways and can help you feel like you're talking to your business and have a little Jarvis-like thing in your pocket to help you get a lot of things done a lot faster. And so whether it's HR, finance, contracts, just trying to remember things that you've done, or clients, or whatever that is behind the scenes, in my experience, it's very, very useful. And so let's dive into that platform as well. So the constraint with Lena is really the amount of information and access that you give it. So this is just the demo on their website, because I don't want to show you any personal information. And on the left here for enterprise knowledge, we can see just IT and HR. So these are where you can say upload documents. So the AI is information about your company. And that's where you can ask questions like how many masks are in stock, or for example, in the sense of the forms there or the information, what's the group email for sales, and then it'll pull from those documents to answer that. And then as far as actions goes, this is where it can actually do things for you, like add email to user group, get access to software, check battery health, and so on. And there's a lot of startups coming out, like there's one called Join Ergo that's in YCOM right now, that are focused around things like making your CRM, fully autonomous. And Lena focuses on that same kind of niche, but for the entirety of a business. And then you can kind of add these over time, just given the access. So that's what Lena does. Again, I've found it super useful, especially for clients. So I would recommend that you just give it a go. So those are the 5 tools for this video. I hope you go out there and build some really cool things. Make sure to send me them if you do. And that said, I will see you in the next one. Cheers.